Right. Here we are with Wingspan at Unraveled Gaming. We're going to try a couple of twists on the gameplay that would be new to most folks. Was playing the other day, and just a few ideas popped in my head as I was playing some solo games. I don't actually think these particular pieces would be valuable to solo, but in a multiplayer game, I thought it might be interesting. So a couple of rule adjustments we're going to do. Right now we have 10 birds out here, and we're going to draft. What I've done is 5 birds per player, and then we will draft birds based on that from a common field. And then, so that's one, giving each player a hand of 5, and you play with that. The other change we're going to doing is up here, we have the bird tray. And what we're going to do with the bird tray this game is the bird tray is going to be a place you don't necessarily, you can draw cards from there, and then of course they will be in your hand and protected at that point, but anyone can play a bird from the bird tray. So we're going to say the bird tray is kind of like a common area. If you've ever played Everdell and you have the meadow, the bird tray is going to be like our meadow, where anybody can play a bird from there. If someone plays a bird from there, immediately another bird comes out, rather than having to wait till the end of a turn. So potentially multiple birds could be played in one turn if it worked out that way for a player. The last thing we're going to try, and we're going to mimic a 2-player game here. I'll be running, of course, by myself. The blue will be, I'll say, as my player, and then I will say the red is Becky. And so I'll just kind of play with both players and see how it works, and walk through everything as they do it. But the other change I want to make, one of the things that Becky and I have noticed when we play, is that pink powers in a 2-player game are just not as effective. It's very difficult in a multiplayer game where you have 4 or 5 players. It tends to work a lot better. Even 3 players, it seems to work significantly better than in a 2-player game. Those pink powers just become so kind of nerfed because of the lack of use they get. So for this 2-player game, what we're going to do is every time a pink power triggers, it triggers twice. That way, there's a little bit more use out of those. They may not trigger as much still, but when they do, it will trigger more than once. So we're going to try those 3 changes. We got, again, common field for drafting, player field that you can play cards straight from here. You don't have to draw them into your hand first, and pink powers are going to trigger twice. So those are 3 rules we'll go with. So, so at the beginning of the game, I'm drafting. My board, I have two cards I'm trying to choose from: the photographer or the citizen scientist. This is birds with colors in their name or birds with tucked cards. Those are sort of the 2 I'm looking at, and then Becky is looking at the cartographer and the passerine specialist. So that would be birds with geography terms in their name and birds with wingspans of 30 centimeters or less. So if we look at our field here, I often look for a couple of things when I'm trying to figure out what birds I'm going to start the game with. And 2 of these kind of fit the bill for some of the best good starting game birds, because if you can put a bird in a different area on the board, say in the forest where you would normally game food, but then it will lay an egg or draw a card when it triggers, those I tend to think are the most powerful birds. And we have 2 that kind of fit that bill. This one could be played in the grasslands and also give you food. And actually it comes from the supply, so I think that's a really good one. And this one is you reset the bird feeder and you gain 1 from the bird feeder after resetting. Again, can be played in the grasslands and can give you food. So I think those are pretty powerful type birds. The other next kind of tier that I tend to draft from, or that I would choose even if we were doing the kind of the original rules and just drawn from my hand, would be birds that just give me more of something I'm looking for. So if I play this bird in the forest where I'm getting food, it gives me more food in addition to what I'd already get in the forest. So those are pretty helpful. This one helps me draw more cards in addition to what I would normally draw. So very helpful in that ways. I'm going to go first in this game. So what I'm going to do is let Becky choose which birds she would want. Now, birds with geography in their names, birds with wingspans 30 centimeters or less. Wingspans of 30 centimeters or less seem to be pretty easy to come by. And in fact, one of these kind of top tier birds seems to have that going on. So she's going to draft this one for her first bird. And then birds with tucked cards and birds with colors in their name. That is a tough one. Well, this one costs 2 worms. I don't really like that. I like things that cost at the beginning of the game where I don't have to pay extra for something. It would actually cost me 3 to play that because I'd have to get a worm at least before I started anything. And there's worms in the bird feeder to start the game, which is nice. So it wouldn't be terrible. But then I'd have to take at least 1 turn getting food and definitely only getting 1 food. I think I'm going to go with this one. Even though it doesn't help with either of my cards, I don't know which one of those I'm going to choose just yet. So Becky is going to double down on these birds and see if she can get something going in the grasslands here that is helpful. Even though it doesn't fit either of these, but it's geography, so European, so that helps. So she could choose either one of these. So then, let's see, my second choice of bird, I'm just going to go with what is typically good, and that's getting birds that give me more of what I'm already going after. If I look at the goals, brown powers are the first thing, cards in hand are the second thing, total birds, and then eggs in the grasslands. So Becky's kind of got this going with the grasslands, and the brown powers won't really help with cards in hand, but that's okay. I'm going to go with, I kind of like this bird. This is a good bird. You can tuck cards behind other birds, so we'll use that as a good option for the tucked card birds. Becky's going to go with this one, easy to play in the forest. I like cheap birds coming out. She's going to go, well, maybe we play a second bird. We're going to go with that one, and she's going to go with the pink power bird. So that is our birds all picked out, and now we got to figure out what I'm going to play with. Well, generally, those first couple of birds are probably what I'd go for. Game 1 face up. So this one might be limited because it's only if there is a face up bird remaining. There's a lot that can live in the wetlands, but I'm not sure I want that bird. Birds with tucked cards. This one tucks cards and is fairly cheap to play, but I have to have the cards in my hand, so I don't know. I think I'd rather have the food than that. I'm going to go ahead and just take this one bird, and we'll get rid of a rat, and that'll be our bird. And what we'll do is birds with colors in their names or birds with tucked cards. We're going to go with birds with colors in their names. That's what we're going to do for our bird there. Now, Becky had a pretty good option. Now, one option is to go ahead and make this initial one, because that would only take 2 food and an egg. And this gives me food if I get it. So I don't usually like getting 3 birds. That would take 1, 2, 3, 4 food, and I would only start with 2. But its ability would be such that I think it might be worthwhile. Now, ideally, I need to be able to get a worm. So, Tough choice, tough choice. I think I am going to go ahead and take 3. I'm going to need a worm, so I'm probably going to have to play this one first, which is fine. But I will discard these 2, and we'll put these 3 in. I've got this nice bird, holds eggs. This is 3D printed. My brother 3D printed it for me. 3D printed this one for me, and it holds all these food tokens. So it's a pretty handy deal for Wingspan. Makes it a lot easier for doing stuff. All right, so we've got 1 bird here, and we've got 3 birds here. We are going to go with wingspan of 30 centimeters or less, and we'll discard this other card. Okay, so now I'm going to go first. So I'm going to jump over here, and this might be where the playing from the field comes in right away. I don't necessarily have to play this bird. I could, but I could also wait, because this bird is pretty good. I like the hummingbird. So in fact, I am going to pay 1 of any. I'll pay a fish, even though a hummingbird probably wouldn't need a fish unless it was very small. And we're going to play that. That's going to be our bird play. So then Becky's going to go. And she has, she doesn't want to play that one. She's going to spend this berry. And she's going to play this bird here in her grassland. And then she'll have to start getting some food. Oh, and we forgot to put this out, which could have made a difference. You know, I'm going to take Becky's back, because that bird would have been there. And so she's still going to play a bird, but she's going to play from the feeder up here. She's going to do it a little differently. So still playing a bird, same action. It's going to take a worm and a berry, but she's going to start with that this round. And I think that might end up helping her in down the road a little faster. So we're going to go to back to my mat here. Draw 2. The yellow throat. I want birds with colors in their names, and that yellow throat is not going to use food that I need for this bird, and gets me a play in the wetlands. So I'm going to play straight from the field there, my common yellow throat. Let me come back over here to Becky, and now she needs food. She wants to keep these birds. She could discard one of these birds to get some food, but she doesn't want to do that. So she's going to get a worm, and that will do that. And then all players lay 1 egg on any bird with a tree nest. Well, I have no birds with a tree nest, and Becky has 1, and then she gets to lay 1 additional on a bird with a tree nest. So now this bird is full and has all the eggs it's going to hold, but that's pretty handy. Helped her out quite a bit. So, let's see. We're going to come back over here, and you know what? I forgot to put my cube there for playing a bird. So, what do we need to do? Well, I think we want to play this bird, but we're going to need some eggs to play that bird. So, we're going to go ahead and take a lay eggs action, and we'll put, only wants brown powers this round, we'll lay some eggs there. We'll come back over to Becky. She lays an egg on another bird, so that one's not bad either, but she's going to go ahead and she's going to get food again. So she's going to grab another worm here. And she can't lay eggs, there's no room, and I have no birds with a tree nest, so we're not going to be able to do that. That's her turn. Come back over to my turn. So let's see. I'm looking for birds with colors in their name. I kind of want to play this bird, so I'm going to go ahead and play a bird. Put it there. It's going to cost me both of my remaining food and an egg. So we'll do that. Becky's turn. Now, she has enough to play this bird, which will cost her both her worms. All right. Now, this has a tree nest, so this is going to play out pretty well for her. The next couple of turns, she's got a decent engine here going. I might even have somewhat of a decent engine that I think, based on being able to play out of here, it started faster. So what could happen is we end up filling up these fields too fast, and we end up in the fourth round not knowing quite what to do. But I will say that having played this game multiple times, I find it fairly rare that I end up filling up the entire board. So if we get close to that, it'll be pretty interesting how that works out. All right. Not really any cards I definitively want. That common kookaroo looks pretty good. She would have to draw it straight. I think it could help me with laying eggs. So I am going to, I'm just going to draw this card. And then I get to draw 2. I'll have to discard 1 from my hand at the end of the turn. I like this one because I can later on play it on a low-cost bird to replace it. Maybe my card drawing bird there. I'm going to draw 1 blind and see what we get. We did not get a color bird there, but a few came out. So now we've got 3 cards in our hand. We've got the Baltimore Oriole, we've got the red kite, and we've got the common cuckoo. And if I keep looking at my birds with colors in their names, my bonus card, I've got 1 so far. I need to get at least 3 to get any points, or 4 rather, and 6 to get 6 points. So we'll see how that goes. She needs birds, 30 wingspan or less, and we have none of those yet, but that's okay. We're going to play some. So she's going to lay eggs. She's going to need some eggs eventually. Reset the bird feeder and gain 1 worm after resetting. Now this might be a mistake. Oh, there is 1 worm in fact. So we got a worm. That'll work. And yeah, I probably should have played that top one first. That's okay. Yeah, we'll live with it. We'll have a built-in mistake here. Okay, so I have, oh, and I had to discard a card at the end of my turn. I like this, 9 points and gives me extra food. Whew. Awfully hard. This one lays eggs. You know, I think the egg laying one might be better, even though it's not the color. Oh, I don't know. But if I'm gonna get my color one, I'll go ahead and go for my goal, my photographer goal there instead of the other deal. Okay, so we're going to need some food. We don't have any food in the bird feeder that really fits what we're trying to do. We do have some birds that are very good for our color thing. So we're going to draw a card, and then we're going to draw 2 cards, and then I got to discard a card at the end of my turn. Nobody's got hunter birds. We're just going to put that there. Doesn't fit. But now I have a white-throated dipper and a red-tailed hawk and the red kite. So I got 3 birds that fit what I'm looking for my photographer. Okay. Now, she is going to need food still. So she's going to gain food. A seed is helpful for 1 food. And then all players lay an egg on any tree bird. Well, still have no tree birds here. She's got room for 1, but not room for the second egg, unfortunately. So, probably should have played that first last time, but that's okay. All right. That's her turn. My turn. Still in round 1. We really want brown powers. We really kind of need... I don't know if we're going to eventually need more cards, but... Let's see, is there anything we want? We need food. We're going to need food. That's going to be a big deal. I can re-roll the dice feeder. Still didn't get what I wanted, but I've got 2 birds that need rats, and rats can sometimes be tough to catch, so we'll get a couple of rats. I get a berry from the supply because of my northern cardinal, and then each player gains 1 from the dice player feeder, starting with the player of my choice. You know what? I'm gonna go ahead and grab a worm here while I'm at it, and then Becky gets to choose, and she is going to also, no, she's gonna choose a seed. Nope, these are the 2 in there. She's gonna choose a fish. That's what she's gonna choose. That's what she's got. Let's go there. Actually, I'll just leave them there. And on Becky's turn, move that over. Now does she have enough to do this? I think she does. So she's gonna play a bird. The first bird is gonna cost a seed and an egg, because it's in the second bird in the grasslands, and then she gets to play a second bird in the grasslands or the forest, paying its normal cost. And so she's going to pay the seed, and she'll pay an egg on that, and that will give her 2 birds there. Not bad, not bad. All right. So now I'm gonna go last turn of the first round. What do we want to do? We're trying to get brown powers out there. You know, I don't particularly like it, but it will make my next couple of moves easier, and it is a high point bird. So I'm going to go ahead and spend 2 rats in place of the berry I don't have and my egg, and get my 9-point Baltimore Oriole out there. Gives me a lot more food. I like the option. I hate using my rats for that, but I think that's going to be okay. So that's going to be our last turn, and then Becky, what does she want to do? She gets lots of eggs anyway. So eggs is a pretty powerful deal. She wants to be able to play some birds, doesn't know what's going to come up in the next round. But eggs give her stuff, so she's going to go ahead and lay 3 eggs. Not spending any food. She could spend 1 food to lay an extra egg. She's not going to do that, so she'll lay 3 eggs on this guy. We gain 1 seed from the supply. And this is where those initial powers are helpful, because these are birds in the grasslands that normally give eggs, that these give food. And then here we reset the bird feeder, and if we do, we gain 1 worm. So we will gain that worm, and then that's our last round. So, end of round. We're going to bring all our cubes back. We're going to discard the birds in the bird feeder and then put out new cards. And brown powers, Becky has 3, I have 4, so then I will get first place for brown powers and she will get second place. now we're going to be doing cards in hand. So let's see. So she is first player now. And let's check our camera, make sure we're good. Everything looks good. All right, so tough choice. Now we have food, and we have the ability to just play directly from the play area. Now this bird here, top of another bird on your player mat, discarding the eggs. So that's pretty handy. That would be a way to get that bird on the mat, and so I could draw a bird and try to get one that I think is going to be pretty helpful, or I could just play directly from the play area. That's a tough choice here because I kind of like this bird. It's a decent amount of points. It gives me some stuff. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to draw that bird just to get it out of the way so he can't draw it. So now it's my turn. Let's see. We are eventually, well, we want cards in hand is kind of our bread and butter this round. All play. I like that bird. Could be played anywhere. Oh, man, it's an Eastern Phoebe, but it doesn't fit my... I think I'm going to go ahead and give myself some options here. I'm going to draw this card. I could wait, see if I get to play it, but don't know if that'll happen. I don't have any eggs. Now I get to draw two. I like these, you know. Oh, I got a good one there. I've got some birds I'm going to be able to play in the field. It's a tough call. I'm going to go ahead and draw one here and see what happens. So I've got some good options. We got a nightingale, we got a bald eagle, we got an Eastern Phoebe. So that's three other birds. Now I got to discard one. And I don't really want to discard any of them, sadly. Oh, that has the color. You know, the bald eagle doesn't fit my color scheme, and it's pretty hard to play. I eventually want to get total birds. This is going to keep me from moving toward total birds if I'm building up for that. I like the bald eagle, but I think I'm going to have to pass on it for now because it will cost me in other areas, and it has to be played in the wetlands, and by the time we get down here, we really want to get into the field. So that is my turn. So now she eventually wants to play this bird. But this Forester's Turn is there, and it's pretty handy actually. For one food, and I don't have to pay eggs for it. I can play this directly from the field, pay my fish, and that is a good. That's a good play. You know, I said you might potentially be able to play two birds in one turn, but that's not true because when you play a bird, you can only play one. The only time you can play potentially two from the field is if you played a house wren or a bird that allows you to play a second bird. It doesn't have to be a house wren, but it could be others. There's one for each of the different areas, and you happen to be able to play another one from the field. That could work out, but not necessarily. Okay. What are we doing here? We've got to get some food. We've got to get some birds out. So we're going to get some food first. Let's see. Two food. what do we want to move toward? We want cards in hand, and getting that and that would actually be doubly helpful. So let's get a worm. That'll help me. And let's go ahead and get a, we're going to need a rat eventually. Let's get a rat. And all players gain one from the supply. You know, I think I only gave myself one last time, so I'm going to give her another one because I think she should have had one. I gain one from the supply. And then I am going to re-roll the dice. And I'm going to go ahead and get a, seed. Get a seed, and then she gets to choose one. What does she want? She's got mostly what she needs there. She's going to go ahead and take this worm. She's going to do that. And it's her turn. Becky is up. So she could play this bird. She also has some other options to play there. This bird is protected, so we don't have to worry about it. Choose a habitat with no eggs and lay. Yeah, that's not going to be terribly difficult. But it's not a bad one. That's not worth any points, though. We need cards in hand at the end of this round, so that's kind of interesting. Let's go ahead and get this. Let's play a bird, and we'll play an egg there, or pay an egg, and do that. All right. So let's see. I am going to go ahead and I'm going to need to get some eggs. That is going to be absolutely imperative. But before I get eggs, I should probably get some things out there that make it easier to get eggs. You know, I don't have to do that. I could. I think what I will do is play a bird. I will pay a berry. And I will play this here. That's what I'll do. And then it's her go. So now Becky doesn't have any cards. Cards in hand are going to be an end of round deal. She does have plenty of eggs. So she's going to pay an egg. And she doesn't like any of the cards there. Although this one could be very handy. So we're going to go ahead and take that one and then draw a second card. And we get to draw a third card. And we'll put this out. And we have to discard a card from our hand at the end of the round. Both of these you can play, discard 2 cards, but that one's probably the least useful. Both of these are under the wingspan we need for those. So right now we have 1, 2 that fit our wingspan we're looking for. And my go. All right, let's see. The camera's doing good. Let's see. I think I'm going to go ahead and lay eggs. Berries are easy to come by, so we're going to lay 3 eggs because I don't want to be short on eggs later. Eventually, eggs in the grassland are what we're going to be going for, so I'll go ahead and put them there. And I can choose a food type, and we all get one of that food type. I'm going to go rat. We all get a rat. We'll do that. All right. And then it is Becky's turn. Okay. These, see, total birds would be next turn, so this would be better for the total birds stuff. However, the eggs deal is pretty good. I have to pay 2 eggs. I have a rat now, so one option is to go ahead and pay a rat and put this down here and pay an egg, and that will give us one more thing down there. All right, we're still looking at cards in hand. I think now I am going to play this bird here and pay an egg, because now I have 2 birds in the gain eggs and the draw cards that give me food, which will be very helpful, I think, in the long run, toward getting the things I want. It should help create a nice engine. So we'll see. We'll see how that works. All right. She gets to go again. So she can draw 2 cards. Doesn't have me beat on that. We've got a worm and that. Let's get some cards. This one's 30 centimeters or less and does contribute potentially to all the other goals, so we'll get that. Getting another bonus card, not a bad idea. So that'll be our 2 cards, and then we draw 1 and discard 1 at the end of our round. Okay. These all kind of fit for different reasons. I'm going to go with that one. I'm going to discard that. And it is going to be my turn. All right. So what are we going to do here? We want to get birds with colors in their name. None of those have colors. These do. We want to get them played. Red-tailed hawk. I think we're going to go ahead and spend our 2 rats, play our red-tailed hawk for an egg, and I think we should be able to get enough cards in our hand to at least tie or surpass her at the end of the game. I'm going to try to take a shot at just beating him in the card market. Birds with wingspans of 30 or less. Oh, that one's way bigger. We definitely don't need that. We have tons that fit, so drawing blind is not bad, and then I will draw a 3rd because of this guy. That's a high point bird. We're going to discard this because I like this high point bird here, and that leaves us with 6 cards in our hand, end of round. Well, last play, discard an egg. I'm going to draw 3. I need birds with colors in the name. 2, 3. We're going to look at the top card from the deck. It is less than 75, so we tuck it. My red-tailed hawk catches it. All players gain a worm from the supply. I am going to let everybody get a worm, and then I draw 2, and discard one. Let's see. We've got a color. This one does not have a color. The belted kingfisher. It doesn't have a color. And the American advocate does not have a color. It is 6 points, which is good. The brewer's blackbird does not have a color. But the brewer's plays there. I'm gonna discard the belted. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So we end up in a tie for first place in cards. I probably could have beaten her, but chose to do other things. That's okay. So we've got our cubes. Why am I sans a cube? There we go. We discard all of these and draw 3 new ones. And then total birds. Let's see, I think we're 7 and 7. We're tied on birds. I'm first player this round. All right, let's see. Gotta do a thing here. Okay. All right. What do I want to do? Well, I've got to get these colored birds out. I have 1, 2, only 2 colored birds, and I've got to get at least 4. And we're going for total birds now. So I don't need to draw cards. What I do need to do is get some birds into my grasslands here, and I'm going to need eggs to do it. So eggs is going to be number 1 on the agenda. We're going to get 2 eggs. We're going to eventually need eggs in the grasslands, so I'll lay them there, and we get 1 of any food type. Tons of seeds here. I'm going to call for a seed. So we both get a seed from the supply. All right. Becky's going to go. Yeah, she's got some good options there. We're looking at total birds. So let's see, can we play these guys? This would be pretty good. Seed, berry, I think we can do it. So if I play a bird, I will play this bird for a worm and an egg. And I get to play a second bird, so we'll play this guy for a seed and a berry, and we have to pay 2 eggs for that. So that gives us, we get to draw a bonus card, 2 new bonus cards actually, and keep 1. So bird banner, birds that can live in multiple habitats. 1, 2, 3, we need 4 birds with the multi-egg nest. We have 1, 2, 3. We need 4 to do that. That's going to be a tough one. I think birds that live in multiple habitats will be the easier of those to get. So we'll do that. All right. Well, that puts me quite ahead of the multi-bird option here. Let's see. We're trying to get total birds. Well, I'm gonna have to do it slower probably. I'm gonna play this, 1 egg, a worm, and a seed. I get to draw 1 new bonus card, and then gain 1 or lay an egg on any bird. Oops, that was not. I accidentally drew the. I get to draw 1 new bonus card. This is birds with a thatch nest. I've got 1, 2, 3. So I only need one more of those. It's not bad. Let's see, do I have a thatch nest with color? That will do both. Kill two birds with one stone. Ha ha ha. All right. So I could lay an egg on a bird or gain a card. Oh, man, that's a tough one. I'm going to lay an egg on a bird because we're trying to get, well, we're trying to get total birds, but I got plenty of birds in my hand, so I think that's going to be the best. All right. Becky, what you going to do? You know, we need some food. We've got a really high quality bird here. And we're going to eat some eggs by next turn. So we're going to get 3 food. We're going to need a rat and a worm. We'll go ahead and get that. For our third food, re-roll the feeder, did not get what we want. But we do need seeds down the road. So we'll get a seed. Nothing, nothing. Seed or a berry from the bird feeder. We'll get a seed. All players gain an egg on any tree bird. Will gain, and I gain 2. So if he has a tree bird, which he does, he'll put an egg there. And then that's my turn. All right. Let's see. House finch, Stellar's jay. So there's nothing in the bird feeder we want, or in the bird tray. We really need to get birds. Almost need to be playing a bird every turn, if possible. Man. We're going to gain food. I don't think we're going to play all these birds. I don't see this one getting played, so I'm going to gain 3 food. And you know what? I do need, potentially, 1 worm. And then I'm going to re-roll for the other 3. We're going to get... yeah. We'll just get 2 seeds. All players get a berry. I'm down with that. I gain 1 berry from the supply. And I'm going to let Becky pick first for my hummingbird, and she is going to, she's just going to take a worm. And she's partly going to take a worm because she knows I gave her a choice in case I took that berry, but I don't really need the berry that much. So now I have to choose between the options here. I'll go ahead. Well, I can get berries pretty easy. I'll get a worm instead. All right. So that's that, and her go. All right. Let's see. We want birds. I really want to get that guy out for the end of the round. So I think I am going to play a bird. We'll play a berry, a worm, and a seed to get out the black redstart, which is still fits into my smallest birds, although it is not birds that can live in multiple habitats. I will have to get something for that. All right, so now I have plenty of eggs here. I'm going to pay that. Actually, I'm going to pay it from there instead. And I got to pay 2 seeds. And that's going to be my bird. All right, we're going to come back over here. Still need a fish. I am going to go here. Oh, yeah. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do some bird feeder. Fish, berry, seed. fish, berry, seed, and gain 1 seed or berry from the bird feeder. Will rarely berry. All players lay an egg on a bird with a tree nest, and I get to lay 2. All right, so that's that. Okay, 9 birds, 10 birds. It's gonna be close. Gonna be close. So how many color birds? We have 1, 2, 3 birds with colors. This bird is not worth a lot of points, but we're trying to get most birds now, so that's not the best time to play that bird. Let's birds with thatch nests. This one will give me a little of both things, but I don't need to play it yet. Yeah, I'm gonna pay that and that. We'll play a bird here, which will cost me 2 eggs. Actually, I'll take 1 egg from there and just 1 there, so I have 1 egg there. All right. All right, so we have 10 to 10. Let's see. Becky's trying to keep up here. She is going to play a bird, fish, rat, worm. All right. And that's going to play her the black-crowned night heron, which is going to cost 1 egg. And that will be it for that bird. All right. My turn. So she's at 11 birds. I can go to 11. She could potentially beat me at 12. It is definitely a race, but I don't have eggs to be able to play a bird, so I'm kind of in a pickle. There's not much I can do. She's probably going to beat me on total birds. She's got 11, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and I can't play a bird right now. So my best bet is to probably just kind of gear up for next round. I'm going to need some food if I'm going to play either of these birds. That one I'm not going to have to. This one doesn't have a thatch nest. That one fits a thing that I'm looking for on both cards. Definitely I want to play that one next round. Oh man, tough call. We're going to go with eggs. We're going to go with eggs. So we'll lay 3 eggs. Actually, here and here. Tuck a card from my hand behind this bird, and if I do, lay an egg on this bird. So we'll do that. And all players gain a seed from the supply. That'll be helpful. Choose a food type. All players gain 1 of that food type. Let's everybody gain a fish. Let's do that. Okay. And Becky's go. All right. He's got 10. That was his last turn. I've got 11. I don't need any particular bird. What I can do is get ready for next round. Do I need to draw cards? I could. And I could also gain food, but I don't need the food right now. I'm going to lay eggs. So we're going to go 4 eggs. 1, 2, 3, 4. one seed from the supply, reset the bird feeder, and if there's a worm, I get a worm. After resetting, end of round, choose a habitat with no eggs and lay an egg on each bird in it. So I will choose the forest habitat that has no eggs. We will lay an egg on each bird in it. Boom. All right. We are going to discard this. We are going to draw 3 cards. Total birds. You won that one. I got second. Going into last round, we have 5 cubes. See what happens. All right. Okay. Becky's first this round. Let's see. Eggs in the grasslands. Huh. Well, that's pretty easy to do. We're going to go ahead and play a bird. And we're going to pay a worm and a seed for this western meadowlark. It's going to cost me 2 eggs. That's okay. And your go. Not now. All right. Let's see. Let's see. We have got to get this kite out. I'm actually going to play a bird, and it's in this column. He's going to eat this bird and make it tucked. So now he's got the red kite. Did I take the place? Oh, that was a yellow throat. Ooh, I don't want to eat that one. This is worth 4 points. That's tough. Common nightingale. Hummingbird. You know, we might be better off. I'm trying to debate. I don't really want to use my eggs for that. Eastern Phoebe. It's 1 point. We'll eat the Eastern Phoebe. It'll cost me 1 egg. It'll cost me an egg, so trade a touch card point for an egg point. That'll work. All right, Becky's gonna go. Now, she has an interesting situation. We've got plenty of room to get eggs. We could actually play a bird. In fact, I think she is going to, in fact, pay a seed and a fish to play this common messenger. Merganser, something like that, into her wetlands, because that's a pretty good play for her this turn. I also have plenty of food, but not as much in the way of eggs. There's not a ton out there. I could draw a card. Beating her on eggs is going to be awfully tough. I might be better off drawing a card. So if I draw 1, 2, man, I can look at the top card. It is small enough to get eaten. And I can draw 2 more cards. Oh man. I need high point birds and birds that fit the color that I'm looking for. The black-billed bird actually does fit the color I'm looking for. So that one kills theoretically 2 birds with 1 stone. Right now I have 1, 2, 3 thatch nest. It's going to take 4 to do it, so we're going to do that. And we'll draw this. Fewer of these are helpful. This one's definitely not. We'll do that. Okay. So playing this bird is top priority. Alright. So she now has spotted sandpiper. Ooh, 5. That's 5 points to play it. Don't need that. The dice are in. Okay. I could draw cards, but I don't necessarily need cards. That's 5 points. I think the eggs are more points. So I'm going to discard a seed for 5 eggs. Alright. So we're going to do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All players lay an egg on a bird with a multi-egg nest. He's going to lay 1, and I get 2 on a multi-egg nest. Gain 1 from the supply. Might as well reset the bird feeder. If you do gain a worm, you might as well. Well, I got 1 worm. Worm. Oops. Got that turned around. There's a worm. Alright. Alright, so we want to play this one. It's not where I want to play it per se, but it is fine. We'll play that there because I don't think we're going to beat her on that goal. And that gives us both of our deals there. Alright. So, Becky, well, she's going to egg out here. I think she's going to egg out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We'll do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And she's going to get 2, and he's going to get 1. Put it on that. Put both of these there. Gain. Reset. Gain. Might as well. Okay. Alright. Okay, I've got 2. What can I do? I'm probably not playing those. I'll go ahead and use my available food. Well, actually, because I could do that, but that's going to be worth 5. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to pay that. I'm going to get 5 eggs and at least do some competition here. Okay. I can tuck a card from my hand behind this bird. Okay. Alright. And actually I wouldn't have put an egg on him earlier. And I can lay an egg on this bird. Alright. All players, I'm going to skip that. I don't need the food. Alright. Okay. We're going to egg out 3, 4, 5. Oh, we have a full bird there. That's full, that's full. We'll put eggs there. Lay an egg on any I'm going to get 2. He's going to get 1. Put it there. Skip. Okay. Alright, now, final turn. Might as well do 5 eggs. 3, 4, 5. So we'll go 1, 2, 3. Oh, the most I could have was 2 there. We'll go there. Max eggs in that habitat. Tuck a card, so at least that turns into a point. Skip. Okay. And then that's it. Alright. So let's see how we did. Alright. So that was, we didn't use any pink powers. Good to know. But it was mainly because the pink birds, we had 1 pink bird, and it just wasn't, it was late game, not as useful. I think the pink power thing would have been pretty powerful had it been used. It just never fit in with any of the end round goals, or those goals. Now, we did have, let's see, 4, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 18, 3, 6, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. So she got first there, and he got second. And so we do have those. And let's see about the score. Birds. 10, 13. Oh, and I forgot. The end round bird here can lay an egg on each of these guys. So we've got that. So we got 10, 13, 17, 20, 21, 22, 23, 45, 26, 27, 29, 30, 31, 45. So Becky got 45 in birds. I got 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 29, 30, 31, 32, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40, 41, 42, 43, 44, 45. We tied on birds. Let's see. Bonus cards. Birds with wingspans of 30 centimeters or less. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5. So 3 birds that can live in multiple habitats. We have 1, 2, 3. Didn't get that one. So bonus cards, 3 points. Birds with colors in their names. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 points. Birds with a thatch nest. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4. 6 and 4, 10. 10 bonus points. So I got a few there. End of round goals. I ended up with 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. And Becky ended up with 7, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. So she got 19. Alright. Eggs. I know she told me here. 3, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32. 32 eggs. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 eggs. Wow. Almost double. No food on cards. And tucked cards. Now, did she have any tucked cards? I don't think she had any. Yeah, that didn't have any tucked cards. So that is nothing. And then I've got a few tucked cards here, so let's see what I got. I have this one, got some tucked cards, and this one, and this guy had a tucked card. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 tucked cards for a grand total. Becky had 45, 55, 64, 65, 67, 77, 87, 97, 98, 99. Becky had 99, and I had 45. 55, 65, 75, 85, 86, 87, 88, 89, 91, and 92. So Becky beat me 92 to 99. Now, I would say, let's see, rules we changed again were the drafting, doing a draft at the beginning to select cards instead of having cards dealt to each player. And then we also had the ability to play cards directly from the field and not have to draw. When I made that suggestion, one person suggested that maybe it would reduce the draw, the desire to draw during the game. And I would probably agree that to some degree, I was less likely to draw unless I had some way to gain points from drawing cards, which neither of these particular board setups did. The other piece was sometimes I still wanted to draw because there was a card I really wanted for my end round goal or my end game bonus that I did not want the other player to get, or in the case of having total cards in hand, I wanted to be able to draw more cards. So it didn't completely negate being able to draw a card. There were still times I wanted to draw cards and have options and would want to draw cards in order to see if I could find cards that fit my end round goals. And to some degree, to that end, I think that was very helpful, being able to play both from there and have the option of drawing cards. I drew more blind cards, I think. But then there were times I drew a card from there because it fit a goal, even if it wasn't perfectly what I was looking for. So it changed it. It changed it. I don't know that it diminished the draw effect. I think it just changed how it works. Now, it could have been just this game. I felt like it was much easier to get an engine started on the board being able to play straight from the field. That was very helpful. I wish I had more pink powers to know how that worked, to see if pink power would double. The other way I thought about doing pink powers was like if you play a pink power bird, it does automatically triggers once between rounds, but I don't know that that's fair because even in a multiplayer game where you have 4 to 5 players, they don't always trigger. That's not every round you're going to get it. It's probably more often than not. So I think that when it triggers, getting 2 triggers is probably a better option because it makes you think about which ones you want to get a little bit more. I'd say it was pretty good. I'm going to try to do this with Becky and see what she thinks, and we'll go from there. So if you've enjoyed Unraveled Gaming, playing games a little bit with some twists in them that aren't in the rules, give it a like. Definitely leave some comments. Hopefully this was enjoyable, and have a great day.